Hey everybody, welcome to episode 28 of Cool Chords. Today we are going to be taking a look at a beautiful chord progression from an Animals as Leaders song titled Another Year. Hope you enjoy. Alright, this is a really cool little progression. It's got great voice leading, it weaves in and out of the parallel major and parallel minor keys. It has some really colorful chord voicings going on, and luckily it's an Animals as Leaders song that can be translated to a six string, because obviously they don't play six string guitars, but this little progression can be translated on a six string, so I was happy to find that. So we're going to be in the key of E major with this one, and we're going to start out on the 4 chord, this A major 7. This 3-note major 7 voicing. So we do A, skip a string, G sharp, C sharp, and I'm doing middle, ring, and pinky just because of where I'm going. So we start on the 4 chord. I'm also doing my pick on the bottom note, and I'm using my fingers for the upper notes. I'm not sure if they do that or if they play with all fingers, but do whatever's comfortable for you. So we start there, and then we go to this E over G sharp. So we go to the 1 chord, but we have the G sharp in the bass to get that, like I was saying, the voice leading. We have that half step instead of going, or technically, instead of that we have, right, big difference. Sounds much better with that half step in the bass. And then we do another E major, this time with the 6 and the 9. So we go like this. After I do that second chord, I do middle, ring, pinky. Then I just go like this. I just take my middle finger off, I play the open 6th string, and then my ring and pinky, I just slide it up 2 frets to C sharp and F sharp. So that's the 6 and the 9. So it's an E6-9 chord. And then we do a single note G sharp with our pointer finger afterwards. So one of the things that I love about this progression right here is we have that, great voice leading in the bass. And then if you look at the upper part of the chord, it's all fourths. So it's this great contrary motion where the bass note is descending and then the upper notes of the chord are ascending in fourths. Really great sound. All right, and like we said, Roman numeral wise, it's just 4, 1, 1. Now these next 2 chords are my favorite. So this first chord, I called it G sharp flat 6 over C. So what is going on with this chord? We put our ring finger on C on the 6th string, skip a string, put your middle on G sharp, then put your pinky on D sharp, and then pointer on E. I love this voicing. And then the way he does it, he plays the bass note and then he plays the upper 3 notes. I love that half step between the 5 and the flat 6, really eerie sound. So the reason why I called this G sharp major flat 6 is because if we look at these 3 notes right here, it's just a G sharp major chord in first inversion, and then all he does is on top of that he adds the E, which would be the flatted 6. So that kind of gives off like a G sharp altered sort of sound, or like G sharp augmented, which is not uncommon if you're in a major key. Oftentimes if you're in a major key and you see like an augmented or a dominant chord starting on the 3rd, you assume that it's going to go to the 6th, right? The relative minor. In this case, it would be C sharp minor. But actually what he does, it's a little deceiving. Instead of going to C sharp minor, instead of doing this, he does A major 7 over C sharp. So that one note, that A note, just makes such a nice little subtle difference in the movement, in the harmony. So we would call this first chord, Roman numeral wise, we would call it just the 3 major with the flat 6. And then we go to the 4 chord, right? A major 7 is the 4 chord, but once again, the voice leading is just so good, right? We have the 3rd in the bass, the C sharp, so we get that half step. C to C sharp. And when we get to this chord, we do that same pattern where you do the bottom note with the pick, and then the upper 3 notes with the fingers. So up to there we have this. Just so beautiful, perfect voice leading. And then after that, we go to G sharp minor. This is one instance where I had to change the voicing a little bit from what they were doing on the recording. I know that there's a 7 in this voicing, but I just couldn't find a comfortable way to get that chord to come out, so I just left the 7 out. So we go to just G sharp minor. So pointer finger on G sharp on the 6th string, and then on the top 3 strings, the G, B, and E string, you do B, D sharp, B. It's a 4-note chord. So that one, we will just call that the 3 chord, right, for an E major, the 3 minor. And then back to the 4 chord again, an A major 7. This voicing is a little tricky. I did this. Pointer finger on A on the 6th string, skip over the next 2 strings, and then bar your pinky on E, G sharp, and C sharp. So 9, 9, 9. So we'd call that the 4 major 7, right? So 3 minor to the 4 major 7. So now we have... Great progression. And then we have these 2 single notes, D sharp to B. Okay, and then right here is where we switch to the parallel minor, like I said at the beginning of the video. So what he does here, if you're unfamiliar with what parallel minor means, it's just whatever key you're in. So in this case, we're in E major. You switch to just E minor, and you start playing chords out of the E minor scale as opposed to the E major scale, and you get this really great contrast, as you can hear at the end of this progression. So after these chords, we go to an E minor chord. So now it's still the 1 chord, but now the 1 is switched to minor. So I'm just doing my middle finger on E on the 6th string, and then I skip the A and D string, and then I do G, B, E, barring my ring finger on the top 3 strings. All right, now right here we get some really colorful, really pretty chords. So what's going on here? We do the E minor, and then all of this around here, like I wrote the names of the chords kind of specifically, but it's basically all just like C Lydian. So basically just playing around with the flat 6 chord of E minor. So the first chord I called it G over C because that's pretty much what it looks like if you think of a G chord. Just take these upper 3 notes and play it with your pinky. And then put your pointer finger down here on the 8th fret of the 6th string, the C note. So you go. Then you do the bottom note, then the chord with your fingers, and then the bottom note again. All right, and then this last chord, I love this voicing. So kind of a very specific voicing. I wasn't exactly sure what to call this. I called it C sus2 sharp 11 because basically if you look at it against the C, you have the 2, the sharp 4, and the 5. So if we took out the sharp 4, it would basically just be a sus2 chord like this, right? But we have the sharp 4 as well. So, but like I said, it's just C Lydian. But this voicing, I go like this. My pointer is on the 8th fret C. Skip a string, put your pinky on the 12th fret D, ring finger on the 11th fret F sharp, and then pointer is barring, so you're getting the G note on the 2nd string, and you go like that. You do the bottom note, then play the 3 notes together, and then bottom note again, and then just play the D and G string. So, okay, so let me do the whole thing really slowly. Okay, now I'll do it closer to the speed of the song. 2, 3, 4. All right, and one other thing that I forgot to mention too is the time signature of the progression. I'm not sure how they're feeling it, but to me, the most natural timing of it kind of felt like a bar of 6, 2 bars of 4, and then another bar of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Kind kind of hard to play and count at the same time. But that's what I thought it was. If you think it's something different, please let me know in the comments. I'm definitely curious about that. But yeah, such a beautiful progression. Animals as Leaders writes some really euphoric, just beautiful music. So glad I was finally able to do a video of theirs. So that is our episode for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. And as always, if you would like to donate and support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/MikeAudetteMusic or paypal.me/MikeAudetteMusic. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next episode. Take care.